Hi guys, today I want to talk about what makes daily life in China so unique for foreigners. And if you don't know me, my name is Max and welcome to my channel. Here on this channel I talk about my life in China, about Chinese culture and Chinese language. And let's skip the long introductions and go directly to the unique point number 1. So first I would like to talk about some things that make our life easier here for expats. And the first thing, of course, it's money, the cashless payments. Basically, people in China don't use cash anymore. Every time I take some cash out of my pocket, everyone around me looks at me like I'm crazy. So, yeah. People just use WeChat, use banking cards, Alipay to pay for everything. Basically, anywhere you go, you can find these like green QR codes that you scan and pay. And what is funny, even if you like to visit temples, very often in the temples you can make donations. And now in Buddhist temples you can find these small green QR codes to donate by WeChat or by Alipay. So yeah, this is super convenient and also a little bit funny. Talking about like homeless people or beggars, it's quite hard to find homeless people or beggars here in China, but even if you find them, probably they will also have WeChat or Alipay QR codes to give them donations by QR codes. The unique point number 2 is the shared everything. Let's call it shared everything. And what am I talking about? Basically, you can find so many things that you don't need to take with you. You can just order them online or scan QR codes and you can use them for your own advantage, for your own good. For example, if you hurry up and you need to go get somewhere, you can just rent one of these shared bikes. Yeah, scan the QR code, take the bike and drive wherever you want. Another point is that you remember I told you that it's possible just to take your phone and get around with your phone without taking your wallet. But many people may ask, what's gonna happen if the battery is dead? Like, it means like what, my life is ended, I cannot pay for anything, I cannot do anything here in China. But actually no. If my battery is about to die, I can just go and get one of these shared power banks. And I can use this power bank to charge my phone, go wherever I want, and then leave this power bank at the next closest power bank station. They actually have lots and lots of them all around the city, and I think in every city in China. So it is amazingly convenient because I can take one power bank, for example, next to my house, and then go to my work, and it's like 30-40 minute ride on the subway, and then I can leave this power bank there, and no problem. They are gonna charge me like 2.5 RMB per half an hour, and like half an hour. Oh, and all these power banks, they support the fast charging, so it's like half an hour, 1 hour is enough to fully charge your phone or tablet or anything. So yeah, that's super convenient. They have shared literally everything. After that, when I go back to Russia, to my small city in Russia, I feel like, this is so hard. This is so hard because if I want to get somewhere, I need to take a bus and then sit in this bus, and sometimes that's the only way to get around, only by this bus. So yeah, here in China it's just super convenient. And also sometimes you can even find shared umbrellas at some places like banks and so on. So you can just take the umbrella, and then after you use it, you can bring it back, or you can bring it to another branch of this bank. So this is also amazing. And having all this shared stuff it actually allows you to save a lot of money, because instead of buying your own electro bike or buying your own car, you can just rely on the infrastructure, on the shared things like bikes, on the convenient transportation like subways. And so yeah, that actually saves you a lot of money. and it gives you a lot of opportunities to live quite an affordable life, I would say, with all the conveniences you can find. Quite unique, I would say. And one more unique thing here in China for me as a foreigner is that there are a lot of elderly people everywhere, and I think some grandmas can stab you with a sword if you piss them off. Well, okay, let me explain. Basically, you know that China is a origin of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is some sort of spiritual practice and martial art together. And it's something in between of yoga and karate, I would say, for people who don't know it. It's more active than yoga, and it's less violent than karate. There are no sparrings. It looks more like karate's kata, but more smooth and less abrupt, I would say. So people here in China, they go to different parks, especially elderly people, and they practice Tai Chi. It looks amazing. It looks exactly like those kung fu movies, where people do different positions of different animals and so on and so on. And an interesting thing that in Tai Chi, they very often use weapons. They use swords, spears, some sort of axes, chains, ropes. So, and if you go to the park very early, for example, like at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., maybe 7 a.m., the latest, you can meet like dozens and dozens of elderly people almost in every park practicing Tai Chi, and it looks amazing, first of all. And second thing, they also play this traditional Chinese music, so it really feels like you have a dream, and in this dream you are among these like Shaolin monks who are practicing their martial arts. So it's amazing. That's very unique in China, I would say. And one more thing is that even though elderly people are everywhere, they're not just wandering around. They actually do a lot of cool stuff. So they very often meet to hang out. So in my community, residential community, I can see every day lots of elderly people just sitting, playing mahjong, playing cards, having fun, just chatting. And a lot of grandmas, they gather together and they dance. They gather on some like small squares and they dance every evening. So that's quite an active lifestyle, I would say. Amazing. And they are not only active in real life, they are also very active online. So, for example, let's take my grandma. Yeah, she's 80 years old and another grandma is 70 years old. But they don't really use phones that much. They don't use computers that much. Their phones are, these old-fashioned buttoned phones with no touch screen or anything. And these local grandmas, they have smartphones because to pay for something they need to have a smartphone with WeChat. And also they all use Douyin. And Douyin is like Chinese original version of TikTok, They watch different bloggers, they watch a lot of videos, they share it with their friends, and actually many of them are doing their own video blogs on Douyin.
快闻闻这是什么味道？今天我俩找你解决，让你不再内耗。这个不能放冰箱，这个不能进大缸，你就放心交给我吧，保证一个地道。这是我想多了，你俩我不说了，要不要帮我想想辙？结果又要下锅了。跟团经过捶打是为了增加韧性，就像老光活了60多年也不认命。我也想当。
They're doing a lot of live streams of them singing in parks, like traditional Chinese operas, or they do live streaming of their own dances. So that's amazing, like that people are so like active at that age, like active in all senses. And one more unique thing is that here people don't care, like really. People don't care how you look. People don't care how you are dressed. Of course, yeah, you're a foreigner. They will look at you. They will be very interested. But if you're like a regular Chinese, You can dress up in any way you like. People will not care. Like, I can see a lot of people wearing pajamas when they go to work. Well, not to work, but when they go to the supermarket or when they go to pick up their deliveries. They're wearing pajamas. Nobody cares. A lot of young people, they are dressed up as anime characters. And yeah, they have these wigs, fancy armor, and so on and so on. And nobody cares. Yeah, they travel like this on subways and nobody tells them anything. And you see, live streaming is like a very huge thing in China. And a lot of people do live streams on streets. And even now, I go and record my blog or vlog, and nobody cares. Nobody says anything. Nobody tries to get into my video or shout something. So yeah, and people do a lot of live streaming here, and I will probably attach some videos of people doing live streams in like public places, and nobody cares. Everyone got used to it so much. So that's why it's amazing, because you know, in some countries people may be too conservative, too traditional, and they may judge the way you look. But here, no. Like, people are quite open. People don't care, and you can dress up in any way you want and express yourself almost in any way you want, and people will not tell you anything. And one more unique thing about daily life in China is the food. You know that food takes like a huge part in Chinese culture, and anywhere you go, you can find like huge variety of food. I'm not only talking about Chinese food, because they have, you know, every province has its own special flavor, its own special dishes, and also you can find some small restaurants that represent food of different minorities, food of different provinces. In almost every neighborhood, you can find a lot of Western food at the same time. You can find Pizza Hut, Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King, all sorts of different restaurants. And you know, in kind of middle level cities and bigger cities, there are many foreigners who came from different countries, and they brought their own cuisine with them. So you can find a lot of Arabic, Turkish restaurants, like some Italian restaurants, Armenian restaurants, Russian restaurants. So many different kinds of food is available for you here. And if you are a fan of something more exotic, you can find, of course, Thai food, Cambodian food, and so on and so on. And also you can find fried insects, spiders, snakes. They are not very common here, but you can still find these kind of places. And sometimes you can go to Chinese social media and type like what to eat on weekend, or what special places can I go for weekends, and you can find a lot of interesting things. Like recently we found a small restaurant that serves pigeons, like cooked pigeons, and they were surprisingly good. One more quite unique thing, I would say, is the napping culture. Basically, people here, in small cities, it's a very common thing that people take naps during the day. You know, some sort of like siesta in other countries. I remember when we were living in a small city, we every time from 12 o'clock to 3 p.m., people would take a break at work and for 3 hours, and they would just, for example, have lunch and then go to sleep. And that was a very important part of the day for them. But that was in a small city. Now we live in Kunming. Kunming is not that small. But some people still, like in the middle of the day, they go and take nap. And very often you can see people napping, even in malls, on benches, at like some massage chairs. So a lot of people just go, lay there, and take a nap. And you see, some people may think, oh, that's so weird. Like, why do they sleep here like homeless people? No, here nobody looks at it in that way. Basically, people don't see anything bad or anything weird at just going and taking a nap at like even some public place. And actually, it tells us about two interesting things. First is that, just like I said before, nobody cares. You can go and take a nap at the bench and nobody's gonna care. You can dress up as an anime girl, nobody's gonna care. And the second thing is about like, how is it possible that they sleep in a public place and do not get robbed? It's because of the safety. Basically, that the fact that they can sleep in a public place without being afraid to get robbed or that some of their things may be stolen is amazing, because they have cameras everywhere and people always feel safe here. When you go out at night, I have a lot of friends who are like girls, and they go out at night, they go to bars or they just have a walk at midnight, and they are not afraid. They meet people like in some dark alleys and they are not afraid of them. I talk with many foreigners and they compare their own countries to China and how they feel in their own countries and how they feel in China, and they say that in China it's like a lot safer. They feel a lot more protected. And some people may say, oh, it's because like police is everywhere and they are constantly monitoring you 24/7. But is it a bad thing? Like if you don't have any bad intentions, you have nothing to worry about. And one more unique thing in like Chinese daily life here is that there are robots everywhere. Basically, if you go to different malls, you can find these small robots moving around the corridors looking for like some potential customers, because these robots sell, for example, small toys, or they sell some small like daily life things. So it is kind of fun, especially if you come to this robot. This robot will say hi to you, and you will have some options like to click something and so on and so on. Or if you go to some restaurants, you can find robots who serve you with wet towels. For example, if we go to Haidilao, there are always these robots who serve you with wet towels to wash your hands. If you go to some hotels, very often they have robots that deliver you the food if you ordered something. So yeah, and there are like more and more robots nowadays. And actually in Russia we also have like we try to implement robots in our everyday life. For example, if people bought some deliveries, now we have these small robots that have the trunk inside of them, and like people just put their stuff inside and then send the robot to deliver these things. And it is very funny when, especially it's snowing in Moscow, and you can see these small robots just like driving around and trying to find their customer. So yeah, it's pretty cool and amazing. It's very interesting that this direction where everything is going is pretty interesting. And especially, some people say that the population declines in the whole world. And many people actually say that because there will be more elderly people, more than younger people, there should be more hands to take care of these elder people. And actually, a lot of specialists in this area, they kind of try to foresee if it's possible to let robots take care of elderly people in future. So yeah, maybe that's one of the ways how to solve the problem with like declining population, but I think that's a quite big topic for another video. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe for my channel, because I really hope to hit 500 subscribers until Christmas. Yeah, as you can see, we're already prepared to celebrate Christmas. My wife already put the Christmas tree out there, so yeah, please subscribe, help me to reach my goal till Christmas. Yeah, and let me know which of these unique things about China you found interesting, which of them are absolutely not unique in your country maybe, and which of them you find the most fascinating. Okay, thank you guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.